We all want to get lean and look shredded like our favorite anime characters, Toji. But it's so difficult to eat right, being surrounded by processed junk foods and being stuck at your desk 24/7. But what if I told you that there are 5 powerful Japanese rules that are not only simple to follow, but quietly keep you lean without the starvation? And even if you're an absolute glutton like I used to be, as long as you follow these techniques, getting shredded will be as easy as munching down on a can of Pringles. And it all starts with the first rule, Hara Hachibu! But Kevin, I don't know Japanese. What the hell does that mean? Listen, you don't need to know any Japanese to make this rule work for you. In fact, it's one of the simplest rules in this video that you can follow. And it works like this. Imagine you are Itadori, and you are fighting some high-level cursed spirit. You can approach the fight in one of 2 ways. First way, you can go all out, expend 100% of your cursed energy to destroy it, and then be on your way. But the problem is, you didn't actually need to expend 100% of your effort and energy on some random gooner, because you're tiring yourself for no reason, and then suddenly Mahito will pop out of the bushes and murk you. The second way, though, is to hold back purposely. It probably doesn't take 100% of your energy to defeat this cursed spirit. In fact, it might only take 80%. And if you approach it this way, holding back your power and only going for 80%, you satisfy the goal without needing to go all out, and you still have some energy in reserve to protect yourself from the flurry of blows that Mahito will blast on your ass. For us, the cursed spirit isn't some white guy with 4 eyes. Instead, it's our own hunger. Let me ask you this. Do you need to be 100% full to completely defeat or satisfy your hunger? Do you need to be stuffed to the gills with 5 steaks and 20 sweet potatoes? Or would it only take 1 steak and 1 really nice sweet potato to satisfy your hunger? This is the exact mindfulness that Hara Hachibu teaches. If you eat until you're 100% full all the time, naturally the chances of you overeating skyrocket. But if you instead become more mindful of the food you're eating and how your body feels when you eat it, and you only eat to the point of satisfaction, you're going to have far more control, and it's a lot easier to stay lean without really trying. So, how can you apply Hara Hachibu to your life? Well, the general rule of thumb is to only eat to about 80% of fullness. To do this successfully, you need to start becoming more mindful of what you're eating and start eating slower. This gives your brain time to register, oh, how is my stomach feeling? And you'll actually be able to feel how much you've actually eaten. If 80% is way too arbitrary of a metric for you, how I like to do it is asking myself this question. If I stop eating right now, will I be okay not eating for another couple of hours? If the answer is yes, I know I've eaten until satisfaction and not to the point of ballooning up. But Hara Hachibu isn't the only rule that's unique to the Japanese. In fact, this second Japanese rule, which is far less common in the West, is one of the most powerful things that you can do to stay lean and healthy. And that is by the power of friendship. It sounds stupid, but let me cook. No pun intended. Everyone knows that animes are about the protagonist. That's what defines protagonist. They're the ones that fight the big bad, they're the ones that save the day. But where would Eren be without Mikasa and Armin? Where would Itadori be without Todo or Gojo? Where would Light be without Ryuk or Misa? Probably not, being shot at in an abandoned warehouse. These are the friends that help support the main character on his journey, guiding their path, influencing their actions. And if these friends are treated poorly, they can sometimes cause harm. And believe it or not, all of you guys have a friend just like that. Trillions of them, in fact. And they're the things that influence your overall health, your body composition, and even how you think. Now you might be thinking, but Kevin, where are these friends of mine? I don't have any friends. Trust me, you do, because they're not around you, they're inside you. Inside your gut. In every single one of your intestines, there are trillions of bacteria. And the collection of these guys is what makes up what is called the gut microbiome. Basically, you are the home to trillions of little dudes chilling around in your belly. And it's really important to take care of these little guys. It's been shown that those who are obese and overweight, aka not lean, tend to have a pretty bad gut microbiome. In fact, there was a relatively healthy woman who received a transplant of microbes from an otherwise obese woman, and then over the course of a few months, she slowly became obese herself. These new bacteria could have influenced how her intestines digest food and absorb the energy, but her gut microbiome could have also changed her behavior and appetite. One study found that putting microbes from a confident mouse into an anxious mouse turned the anxious mouse more confident. So having a dysfunctional gut microbiome is going to cause you to have some dysfunctional behavior. You are what you eat, after all. So how do the Japanese follow this rule, and how can you follow it so that you can take care of your gut just as well as your average Japanese gentleman? Luckily, the answer is very simple. One thing that's in many Japanese diets, but pretty absent from Western diets, is fermented foods. Foods like kimchi, yogurt, natto, or sauerkraut have been shown to improve the gut microbiome and improve the gut bacteria diversity. It's one of the many ways that the Japanese can stay so thin without trying, and why in America, there are fatties literally everywhere. So by eating fermented foods, it is going to make it far easier to manage your appetite and stay lean without trying. But fermented foods aren't the only things that are absent from the Western diet. In fact, this next rule shows us just how much better the Japanese do at staying lean, and that is by drinking the elixir of life. Just look at Uncle Iroh. Look how jacked he is in this episode. Not this one. Not to mention the other jacked old dudes in anime. There's a reason they live so long, and there's a reason why they look the way they do. Because they all have one thing in common. They are drinking that elixir of life, that goodness. And what is that elixir, you may ask? Well, it is green tea. The benefits of green tea are endless. And there's a reason why Japanese people, who drink it all the time, tend to be so lean and live to 100. The big thing about green tea in Japan is that you can get it anywhere, from vending machines to restaurants. And of course, if you're too busy drinking green tea, you're not going to have time to be drinking things like high-calorie sodas or any of that other garbage. But besides that, green tea itself has numerous benefits and ways that it helps us to stay lean. First, it's been shown to boost metabolism. You roughly get a 3 to 4% increase in caloric burn when you drink green tea. Secondly, it is great for burning fat. It's been shown that 2 to 3 cups of green tea daily aids in using fat for fuel when you are exercising. Third, green tea hates visceral fat. It got some mad beef with it. Visceral fat is not the fat you particularly want to keep. Large amounts of it is signs of obesity and heart disease and all that other stuff you do not want. Fourth, green tea has caffeine, and caffeine is known to suppress appetite, making you less hungry, making you eat less food, making you get less fat. Very simple. Fifth and lesser known fact, green tea is a diuretic, which is just a fancy word for a substance that makes you pee. As a result, you will lose a lot of water, and plus your water retention will go lower, making you appear more leaner as well. So how can you apply this to your own life? Just drink green tea. Make sure you have access to it easily. Have some green tea around in your pantry, have some ready to go when you wake up in the morning, carry some when you go to work, and also always go loose leaf. Never go tea bag. If you do, I will give you my tea bag. But the food you eat, of course, is only half of the equation of staying lean. We still have to deal with the other half, which is burning calories. Luckily, the Japanese have a very good rule that keeps this as simple as possible, and it is called ikigai. You notice that the best and strongest anime characters are always doing something every episode. Whether it's Gon training when he's not supposed to, Sung Jin-woo leveling up in a dungeon, or Itadori fighting a random cursed spirit he sees on the street. Whether they're doing something intense or they're just doing some light tasks, the point is, they are always moving their body in some form of way. They're staying busy, or they're at least walking somewhere. This reflects exactly how the Japanese behave, and it's all thanks to the ikigai philosophy. Ikigai translates to the happiness of always being busy. Rough translation. I'm not Japanese. And one of the principles that makes up the philosophy of ikigai is always moving and always staying busy. In fact, every morning, Japanese national radio stations play 3-minute mobility routines for everyone to follow. So as they wake up, they're already moving. And even more prevalently, Japanese people walk everywhere all the time. In fact, Japanese people walk double the number of steps that the average American does. Not to mention they have common hobbies like gardening and even sitting on the floor instead of a couch. This is what makes staying lean so simple. Just constantly moving your body, constantly burning calories, and here's how exactly you can apply it for yourself. A lot of people think that burning calories needs to come from working out, when in reality, a majority of the calories that you're burning come from the activities outside of working out. Things like fidgeting, walking to the fridge, tapping your foot on the desk. So if we want to burn more calories to help us stay lean, we need to be constantly moving. Start by aiming to get 10K steps a day. Start walking more than driving or whatever other mode of transportation you use. In the morning, follow the Japanese, get some early morning mobility every day. You can even adopt some more active hobbies like hiking, rock climbing, swimming, ping pong, or even chess. I hear that burns a lot of calories. You can join a few clubs. You can join a community, such as the Shonen Strength community, where I will show you how to move your body and get an anime physique and stay lean. Shameless plug. But even when you have all of these techniques in place, there is one particular Japanese rule that, if done correctly, will keep you lean whether you like it or not, and that's by using one main character only. Let me explain. When you watch an anime, there is almost always just one main character. If there was more than one main character with a bunch of names that you can't remember, the show would be far too distracting. But having only one main character makes things pure, clean, simple, and easy to follow. The Japanese diet reflects this idea of having one main character. When it comes to Japanese cuisine, they value highly the ingredients that they use. Think of simple foods like sushi, or even rice bowl places like Yoshinoya. When it comes to common Western foods, you've got things like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Shake Shack, whose food ingredients stretch out for miles, and even the bread in the grocery store has a bunch of stuff that you've never even heard of. When you have foods with this many ingredients and this much stuff added to it, your body kind of gets distracted and confused. It doesn't know when to feel full. Think about when the last time you ate a pizza, or the last time you ate a McDonald's burger. Versus Japan's single ingredient food scene, you allow your body to register what it's eating and allow it to feel full naturally because you're only giving it single ingredients at a time. None of this random garbage. But besides that, by far, just eating single ingredient foods is one of the easiest ways to help anybody not only get lean, but stay lean. You know exactly what you're eating. You have full control on what you're putting in your body, and the chances of you eating junk food or high calorie crap are low because most junk foods are not single ingredient foods. They don't fall in the category. Unless you're counting refined sugars and such. Stay away from those, of course. So instead of getting the new celebrity friggin' whatever burger from McDonald's, you know, in Canada, we used to have something called Tim Biebs for Justin Bieber. They weren't bad. Just start by eating the main meat, fish, eggs, dairy, fruits, vegetables, and rice if you want to. If you just stick to these, I promise you anybody can stay lean 100%, and they don't even have to track a single macro. But getting lean is only the first step into looking like your favorite main character. To actually pile on that muscle and get that shredded look, you'll need to start working out. So click here to understand how exactly you can build an anime physique in as little as 90 days.